Yes, you did.
Yay. Okay, good.
All right. So, how is everyone? Thanks for joining us for Friday 3:30 bar. Or no, roll. Just kidding. Scared you. Let's go ahead and just find ourselves in a seated position, whatever position is comfortable for you. Sorry, I'm gonna just my video thing is like, it's a little cricket. All right. Okay. Trying to be a perfectionist. Let's go ahead, start in a seated position. If it feels better for you to be sitting on top of your roller so you can get your hips a little higher than your knees, this can be a nice place to start. So let's take this next hour and just concentrate on the body, concentrate on your breath, and take it at your own pace. If there's any part of the class you want to stay on, if we're on a body part, or if you want to move ahead, completely, that's up to you. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Whew. Good. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let's take one hand to the ground or the roller. The opposite hand is going to reach up. You're going to get taller, and then you're going to do a slight lean over. We're still pretty cold, so it's not going to feel like you can go very far. Let's alternate. Reach up and over. Do this a few times on your own time. The sequence is to reach up, lean, slowly bring it back. Reach up, get tall, lean, slowly bring it back. Do a few more on your own. Inhale, exhale, come on back. Good. And then we're actually going to take, inhale, get tall, and we're going to swan dive it over, leaning over the legs, feeling a little stretch in that lower back maybe. Your hips can easily be on the floor as well, and then walk your hands up forward. Great, let's take the roller away, come and sit on the floor. You're gonna bring your legs into pretzel. We're gonna just do a little quick warm up and warm up some of the muscles. Your hand is gonna come down next to your hip, and then you're gonna reach your hips up towards the sky and then set them back down. So all of the contact points that are into the floor, you're gonna press to lift. You can lift your hand up and set them down. Keep going. I'm just going to change my positioning so you can see where my hand is. Push through the feet, lift up the hips, just working out some of the muscles in the legs. Nice. When you're ready, after doing 4 or 5, switch to pretzel on the other side, hand next to the hip, taking your shin, your feet, your knees, pressing them into the floor to reach up towards the ceiling. You're going to take a few raises here. I know, Diane, you're probably super warm from CAP class, so if you want to skip this and do some more just stretching and rolling, go for it. For those of us that might need a little warm up. Good. Let's come on to the back. You're going to bring your knees in towards the sides of the rib cage, so your knees open, and then roll your ankles. So part of this class, we're going to be rolling and also just moving the body around to see how tight or loose things are. Go ahead and lift. One leg extends long on the floor. The other leg lifts towards the ceiling. Start to point and flex your toe, feeling the calf here. And then you're gonna roll to one side, take the same foot that was just up in the air, you're going to wrap your hands around the ankle, extend the knee towards the feet, stretch out the quad. and release. Come back into that same position. Grab the back of the thigh, back of the quad, or even the toe, and start to pull that leg down towards your chest, keeping it as straight as possible. It's not about how deep you pull, but keep that leg straight, and also take your sits bone and really reach it to the floor of the leg that's up. Nice. Release. Opposite. Leg up in the air. Point and flex the toe. Eeks. I went on a walk earlier too, like Sarah Kate was saying, and so my calves are feeling a little tight from all that walking. Beautiful. You're going to turn now to face the opposite way. Grab the ankle and take the knee and point it down towards the feet. Stretch out the front of the quad. And bring it back again onto the back. You can grab the thigh, the calf, the toe, trying to keep the leg straight, and the sits bones are going to push into the floor as you stretch out the hamstring. We're not really stretching here. We're kind of more just seeing how things feel because we're going to roll everything out. Good. Bend the knees. You're going to take both knees and start dropping them side to side. We're just warming up the lower back, maybe opening it up a little bit. This should feel good. If things do not feel good and things are kind of moving into pain, feel free to switch it up and do something completely different, or make the motion a little bit smaller, yeah? All right, let's go ahead and roll it up into a seated position. Grab your ball. Let's start with a little bit of footwork, okay? I'm just gonna grab this roller here to give me some support. You're gonna stand, your heel is gonna be on the floor, and the ball of your foot is gonna start to gas pedal into the ball, okay? You can do this against a wall if you need a little bit of support. So as you gas pedal, you put your weight in, you lean it off, you move to a different part of the foot, lean it in, come off, okay? That's one option of something to do here. You can also bring the ball to the ball of the foot. Start to rotate your foot from side to side, like a windshield wiper. This is where it might be helpful to have a little support. The back of a chair can work really well here too, the back of a couch, the corner of a counter. Step into a different place, move side to side. Keep exploring. And then you can also lift the entire heel and foot off the floor, and you're gonna slowly then start to move the ball to all, I like to think of the foot as a tripod. The heel is one corner, and the sides of the feet are the other opposite corners. So you wanna move the ball all throughout that triangle. Breathe. And we're going to take about 20 more seconds on this foot before we move to the other one. For those of you that are joining us later, lots of things can work. You can use a can. You can step on the can. Ooh, canned beans. Really good here. So there's a lot of things that you can use at home that are great for rolling out the feet. Ooh. Remember to focus a little attention around the heel and throughout the arch of the foot. I'm not an expert on all of the muscles in the foot, but there's a ton of them, and they crisscross in all sorts of ways. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and roll that ankle around afterwards. Shake it out a little bit, and let's change sides. So you don't have to do this in any particular order, but the movements that we did were the gas pedal, which you take your weight on and off as you move it around the surface of the bottom of the foot. We did the windshield wiper. And then we did the lift and put pressure on and move through that foot. Whatever method feels most effective for you, do that. Remember to keep breathing, focusing on the exhale. Wow, Diane, thank you for recommending that we do the feet. This is actually really often overlooked. But if you think about the importance that our feet play in all of our everyday movements, releasing some of these tight, super tight muscles can really help release, particularly that back line of the body. I think Maggie really blew my mind when I first started at Remedy, and she was the one that introduced this whole like fascial line system and talking about the posterior line that starts at the bottom of the feet and comes all the way up the body and actually links into your eyebrows. So thinking about to release that entire fascial line, it really does start with the feet. So, whew. All right, let's spend about 10 more seconds here. And that felt great. Go ahead and roll that ankle around. Wow, what a difference in how this feels. Beautiful. For fun, let's just go ahead and come into a little downward dog. Roll forward, roll down to the floor, walk your hands forward, bring your legs out into a pike position, and start to pedal out your feet. Interesting, I don't know about you all, but my calves feel looser after rolling out the feet. Genius. Genius, genius. All right, from here, let's go ahead and grab our softer roller if you have one. If you have just a hard one, no worries. Okay, you can still do this as well. But let's work through the calves. So you're gonna bring the roller right behind the knees, and you're gonna use your hand to keep it in place, and you're gonna slowly sink your weight back onto it. Hands can stay on the floor in front of you. When you're here, you're gonna start to move your hips. I'm gonna spin towards you so you can see. You're gonna start to move your hips from side to side. There are some people that like to sit all the way up right away. because they like that sensation. I personally have enough sensation right here, so I'm going to stay with my hands on the floor, but I'm moving from side to side within this. And I see some people modifying and sitting on the floor. You can absolutely get into the calves by sitting on the floor and using your ball or even just using one roller. So please do whatever move or technique works well for you. As you're working through your calf, things to think about are to continue moving down all the way to your Achilles. So doing the whole length of the calf. Continue sliding your hips from side to side. As you get closer to your Achilles, it can take a little more pressure because it's not as not as full there, I guess. It's a little more tendony, not as muscly, so it can take a little more pressure. Sometimes it's nice just to sit up and move from side to side. Let's take a few more breaths here. I'm going to come back to the belly part of my calf because that needs a little more attention. Beautiful. Let's take a last few wiggles. When you're ready, you're going to take that roller out. You're going to come back to all fours and let's come back into a downward dog. Tuck the toes, lift up the hips, pedal out the feet again. It should feel even more different. All right, from here, we're gonna get into the peroneal. So we're gonna work the side of the calf. I would take, if you have a harder roller, a firmer roller, you're gonna bring it, you're gonna lay down on one side. I'm gonna bring my firmer roller in front of me. If you have a softer roller, that works too. If you have your ball, the ball can do a very similar thing. So we're gonna take both feet, bring your knees up towards your hips. You're gonna stack your feet. The side of the calf is on the roller. From here, allow your hips to rest into your hand, and you're gonna start to extend your legs and then bring them back. We're gonna start and stay around the very top of the calf, right underneath the side of the knee, okay? If you want to use the ball, you can do the same. Put the ball right next to the side of the, ooh, that's intense. It's really pointy. So, but it works as well. Oh, okay. So, if I'm using the ball, I'm not gonna actually stack my feet. It's a little too much pressure for me personally, but you might love it. We're gonna stay right around the top of the calf here and work. That's a really nice place that has a lot of muscle attachment. All we're working is bending and you can also choose to rock it forward and rock it back. Rock your knees forward, rock it back. Ooh. Put your head into your hand if that feels comfortable. If once you feel like you've given enough attention to this part of your leg, go ahead and move the roller down towards the middle part of the calf. And same thing, you can stack the feet. You don't have to stack the feet if that doesn't work for you, but then you're just bending a couple inches and straightening a couple inches, working through the side of the calf. Bug. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Ooh. Continue working down all the way towards the ankle. Take the roller, scoot it down a little bit, place the side of the calf closer to the ankle. Same thing, little tiny movements. Whew. And then take a few minutes and try to roll through the whole side. So for here, you can lift, come up onto the, lift the hips up and come down and up. So I take my top leg, I plant it, I lift my hips off the floor, and then I roll all the way down and back. Rolling is really just about you figuring out how your body wants to be. Maybe you don't want to lift your hips up. There's all sorts of things to do, okay? Ooh, all right, come on to the back again. Grab the back of the knee, point and flex the toe. This should feel very, very different than when we did this in the beginning of class. Roll that ankle around. Yes, yes, yes. Yum, let's do the other side. I find it really interesting to compare the difference that stretching does and the difference that rolling does. Anyway, so it's kind of nice for us to do a little stretch and then roll and stretch again because you can really tell the difference. All right, come all the way down on one side. You can have your head in your hands or you can relax all the way. Bring your knee and your hips in one line and take the roller and scooch it so it's right underneath the side of the knee. And by underneath, I mean below the knee, okay? So you're below the knee and you're stacking your legs, maybe you're even pushing into it with the upper leg. And then you're starting to move up an inch and down an inch. Maybe even rotating your knees down to the floor and back up to the sky. I find it's nice to be at the edge of the roller. Gives me a little bit more room on the back end. Again, if there's too much pressure, consider taking that top leg off or pressing it in to get a little more sensation. Ooh. So when we focus at the spot underneath the side of the knee, that's the head of the fibula, right? We've got the two bones in the leg. The tibia is the big one. And then we've got the fibula, which is the little tiny one, right? If you think about eating a chicken wing, this is the wing. The head of the fibula, there's a lot of really fun attachments there with the muscles. So it's nice to spend time here and moving it around. If you feel like you've spent enough time here, take the roller, move it down a little bit so it comes to the center part of the calf and move through the sides of those muscles as well. Keep that breath going. Remember, you can use your little ball too if you want even more pointed sensation. Rock it forward, rock it back. And let's spend a little bit of time closer to the ankle. Bend and straighten. And then we're going to take a few moments. You can take that top foot, plant the foot on the floor, lift up the hips, and roll down and up through the whole side of that leg. Maybe even spend a little more time on some areas. Beautiful. Turn onto the back again. Extend that leg up in the air, point and flex the toe. All right, beautiful. Find yourself up. Let's work the tibialis anterior, okay? So you can take, move these towels for myself. You're gonna take one of your rollers. I would maybe start with the softer one. You're gonna bring it in between the feet, and then you're gonna place the hand in front of it, okay? We're gonna lift one leg up in the air and bring that leg through so the top of the shin is going to rest on the roller. Essentially, we're in pigeon pose, okay? Then you're gonna take the front of the shin to the side of that tibial ridge, and we're gonna roll front and back. I don't actually know if tibial ridge is what it's called, but that really pointy part, this ridge on the front of your shin, you're right on the side of it where you've got all those really nice muscles, okay? I'm gonna play around with a little firmer roller. Yeah. You can rest the back knee on the floor if you want. You can even let everything hang over, or you can keep it a little more active, rolling it through the front and the back. We're gonna spend 15 more seconds before switching to the other side. This is the muscle that lifts the toe up towards the knee, right? So every time you take a step, lift, it lifts. So literally it works every time you take a step. Beautiful. Come back to a downward dog. Lift the other foot up, reach it through, plant it slightly sideways so that you are on the side of that tibial ridge, and you're working through nice and easy. Whew. Back knee can come to the floor. Remember, you can completely relax if that feels good. Whew, yes, really good. All right, beautiful. From here, we're gonna go straight into the quad. So come onto the forearm, bring your hips onto the roller, and you're gonna slowly start to walk it forward and slowly start to walk it back. Give yourself some options here. You can wiggle, go to another spot and wiggle. You can also bend and straighten, and you can windshield wiper. So using all of those different tools, making a little forearm shelf for myself. using all of those different tools, work through the quads. And you can also play around with the firmness of your roller. It's nice to kind of test which ones are working for you. Yeah. Remember your windshield wipers. You can even circle the feet, make it a big circle. Change directions. All right, let's come back to the hips. Take one hand, you're gonna plant it, and then you're gonna push your hips up towards the ceiling, plant the knee. We're coming into the vastus lateralis. Now, with the hip pointed 45 degrees up, if you look through, you'll see space in between your pubic bone and the roller. Kind of hard to see with my leggings, but there is a little space there. We're gonna spend time rolling through the top of the thigh here. You can do the bend and straighten of that leg. You can windshield wiper the heel. Okay? If you feel completely comfortable, you can also come down to the floor and work those movements as well. Whew. No hurry. See if you can relax your kneecap. Right now I'm working my right leg. My right leg is the leg that is straight. So I'm relaxing my right kneecap. I'm trying to let any tension that it's holding, releasing it. And then continue working through. Once you feel like you've spent enough time on that part of the thigh, go ahead and move all the way down towards the knee and work the same motions. Windshield wiper, circle. Rinse through the whole length of that muscle. Beautiful. From here, if you're ready to move on, we're going to turn the hip and work directly on the side of the leg, the IT band. You can stack both legs, or you can take the top foot and place it in front or behind. And you're working through the side of the leg. Nice and easy. You can also, bend and straighten the leg here as well. Can feel a little intense. That's okay. Nice. Good. From here, let's come back onto the hips. Let's work the other side. So we're going to come into the vastus lateralis on the other side. So Take your hand, clamp it, lift up your hips to place that knee onto the roller. Now we're working right at the top of the thigh. I'm on my left, you don't have to be on the same side as me. But remember, you can bend and straighten. Windshield wiper. And you can completely relax. Feels good. Remember, you can come all the way down to the floor. Work whatever feels comfortable. Take some time to move lower towards the side of the knee if you haven't gone there already. Bend and straighten that leg. Take some time at the lower part of this muscle right next to the knee to work some of those movements. And let's take some time to rinse through the entire length of that muscle. All right, beautiful. When you're ready, we're going to turn completely to the side so that we can work the IT band. You can stack the legs, front or behind, and start to roll through the side of the thigh. Keep going. Whew. Just keep your breath. Making sure that I got the time. Ah. You can bend and straighten the leg here for extra intensity. Remember the exhale. All right, we're going to come back to the hips. We're going to work taking our heels and placing them together. You're going to open up your knees. Your legs are going to be in froggy position, and we're going to stay in this position to roll through the inner part of the leg on the roller. If this does not feel good, if your hips are not open enough to do this, you can think about taking one leg over and just rolling through the leg one at a time. Okay, so you can also just bring one leg over, work one leg at a time. To change sides, you just step over on the other side. Okay, whatever works for you. Even switching to a firmer roller maybe. If you're in froggy, you can straighten the legs, bend the legs to get in a little deeper. You can also wiggle. It's kind of funky to wiggle like this, but take your hips, move them from side to side. Woo, that feels good actually. Tense, but good. Keep some engagement in the core. We don't want to collapse the belly to the floor. Oh, that's good. All right, from here, let's push ourselves up into a seated position. Turn around so you're sitting on top of your roller. We're gonna work through the glutes. If you've got one of the soft blue balls, you can use that as well. If you've got a firmer roller, you can work on that. So let's take, one side. You're gonna lean over to one side, start to roll through the glute. You're rolling from your sits bones all the way to the top of the hip crest. And you're gonna slowly continue to keep rotating over to the side. You're welcome to come to the forearm if that feels good for you. And you can also, figure four. Another option is to move that leg. Pin the muscle down, move. Spend some time as well around your sacrum. So if you're not sure what your sacrum is, it's the kind of a little triangle, that's your tailbone, okay? There's a lot of muscles that run on either side of it. So it can feel good to give a little bit of attention to where you find your sacrum coming in and expanding the muscles around there. Whew. And then also spending some time around the sits bones. Those bones, those two bony parts that come out at the bottom of your seat. Beautiful. When you're ready, go ahead and switch to the other side. Wah! Try to do it a little gracefully, more gracefully than me. Lean to the other side. Start to roll through that glute. Remember the things you can do here. You can continue rotating over to the side. You can figure four and work through. You can move that leg in and out. You can even lift both legs up. Yeah. It's fun to play around because all of it, literally all of it is good. And spend some time around your sacrum. Working through the edge of that sacrum. Around your sits bones. Remember your breathing, particularly your exhale. All right. From here, all right, we're going to sit right on top. You're going to open up your legs and you're going to let your sits bones actually swing behind the roller. You're going to open up your legs. So now we are in front of your sits bones at the top of the hamstrings. Let's add a little wiggle here. Bend one leg. You're going to turn to face the outstretched leg, and you're going to give a little bit of attention to the top of your hamstring here. There's a lot of different positions you can play around with here. So if I was facing you, this is one. You can take this leg entirely behind the roller, and you can be focused on the top of the hamstring here. What's nice, what feels really good, is to rock side to side. So we're cutting across the fibers of the hamstring. Ooh, very intense. Some people also like to put their knee down on the ground and work through it this way. Again, remember, this is about you finding the position that you feel the most comfortable in. You can start to roll a little bit back and forth, getting closer to the knee as well. We're going to spend a few more breaths here. All right, when you're ready, we're going to switch sides. So you can start with opening up the legs, taking the sits bones, hooking them behind the roller, and bending the other leg. We're going to turn towards the straightened leg. So you can stay here and work through that hamstring. You can take that leg behind so that you're more perpendicular to the roller and start to rock side to side. Yeek! Intense. Try your back knee to the floor. See if that's more comfortable for you. I also like to experiment with being at the edge of the roller so that my knee can be on the floor or my leg can be to the side. So I'm not in such a split position. Again, it's really going to depend on how open your hips are too. Continue moving down towards the knee. Oh, really, really sensitive. Continue moving through the length of that muscle, rocking side to side. You don't have to move at all. Just sustained pressure can be great and intense. All right, take some time. We'll take about 15 more seconds here. 3 breaths-ish. Mm. So good. Okay. Whew. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take the roller. We're going to sit down. We're going to take the roller behind our shoulder blades. Head, hands behind the head, lift up the hips. We're going to slowly roll through the top of the back. As best you can, think about relaxing into the roller. Then let's do a supported back bend together. Let the roller come to the back of the shoulder blades, the bottom part of the shoulder blades. Set the hips down. Inhale, and we're going to exhale. Allow yourself to arch back. Inhale, bring yourself back up to a neutral position. We're going to do the same thing again. Inhale, exhale, release back. Turn your head slightly to the right. Turn your head slightly to the left. Come back to neutral. Inhale, bring yourself back up. Whew. Good. Let's bring this all the way down to the back of the neck. And now our head is hanging over. Let's take the hands and bring them up and over. We're going to just let them hang for a second. And oof. Good. Bring them down towards your side. The back of the neck now is on top of the roller. You're going to slowly start to turn your head to the right and start to turn your head to the left. Really slow. All right, go ahead and take that roller, push it away from you. I want us to go through the stretches that we did at the very beginning of class, because I'm curious to hear if they feel different for you. So you're gonna straighten one leg, the other one's gonna come right behind the knee. You're gonna point and flex the toe. Then turn to one side, grasp the ankle, come into a quad stretch, take that knee, point it down towards the opposite foot. Does that feel different? Come on to the back. You can grab the thigh, the quad, the calf or the toe. Let's stretch that hamstring out, taking the sit bones and reaching them down towards the floor. Good, release. Other side. Lift the leg up in the air, point and flex the toe. Turn, grab the ankle. Take the knee, point it down towards the other foot, stretch out that quad. And release onto the back again. Grab the thigh, calf, or toe, stretch out that hamstring, taking the sit bones and reaching them towards the floor. Nice. Roll to one side. Find yourself up in a seated position. Take a seat. Whew. You're going to take one hand down on the ground. The other arm is going to come up and over. And release. The other hand comes up and over. And we're going to now walk it forward, keeping the legs in crisscross applesauce. Let everything hang forward here and just relax. And walk it up. Nice. Open your legs here. So I always like to do that just to check stretches to see how they feel. From here, we're gonna roll the pelvis forward and back. So it's like, if you think of your pelvis as a bowl, we're tilting it forward, pouring the water out, tilting it back, pouring the water back. Your legs do not have to be very far apart. They could be here. They could even be bent if that feels easier for you to tilt that pelvis, okay? And then, as best you can, we're gonna keep the back straight and we're gonna start to lean forward as far as you can go until you feel a stretch. Usually not that far. Flex the feet, point the feet. Flex the feet, point the feet. Flex, point. Good, and come on up. Nice job. Let's come into all fours in crab. You're gonna take your knees and you're gonna point them forward. We're gonna feel a little stretch in the shoulders as well. The knees come forward and come back. We're gonna do a few of these, rock it forward. Whew, feel that stretch in the shoulders, in the legs, and back. One more. Good. Beautiful. Let's take a few breaths together. So, go ahead and take one hand, put it on your heart. The other one, put it right on top of the belly button. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, 4 counts. 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Go ahead and rub your hands together. Nice work, everyone. Ooh, I feel way better. Nice job.
Thank you for all that lower body work. I feel